it up for Monday or as soon as possible.
Gee, it's 9:59.
That's what just my.
Area code announcement 5. Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
Hey, glad to see you, man. I'm glad to see you.
How y'all doing? We got everybody on the.
A quarter with you?
That's it. That's all we need, right? Yeah. We don't have too many things. Let me get my coffee. 1 second. All right. So that's here, Cindy. We're up.
Okay, it's
Everybody, time to, if we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, everyone. Okay, here we go. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee,
Texas, one state,
under
one
God, one
and indivisible. Thank you all. May be seated. How's everyone this morning? Good. Any announcements, Commissioners? JC, good morning.
Morning.
No announcements or anything?
No,
Sheriff?
Sheriff, my.
Good morning.
Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, if I may.
You may, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, just want to let you know, I've got 68 inmates. I've got 8 females. 3 of them are B County, for housing. We, again, have been moving some people around to Beeville, so our prisoner detention has increased. We also had one currency money case yesterday on 281, but I also want to inform the commissioners and you, Judge, that we have experienced a 10% increase in our food for the county jail. Fuel has been stable. Of course, we've seen some changes, but still working on it. The prisoner detention has gone up to 42%. We are now at 66%. So that makes a very big difference. Inmate medical has gone up, and of course, we have to provide medical attention to the inmates. Wanted to also inform you that we were in the Valley this week to look at the sky tower that's going to be utilized in our area. We've got a project that Commissioner Margie Gonzalez and the Sheriff's Office will be working on. And we will also utilize this project for the Jim Wells County Fair. So that is in the planning, thanks to Sheriff Hidalgo County, Eddie Guerra. And at this time, we're fully staffed, the Patrol and Traffic Division. We have 4 openings in the jail correctional officers positions. So we're still working on that. But everything else other than that is within normal limits.
Thank you very much, Sheriff, for that update, and we'll look at those numbers for your budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Anyone else with any announcements or comments? Before we proceed, anybody? No? Okay, discuss, consider, and take action on minutes for previous meeting. I think everything.
Move to approve.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
A second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Agenda item number 5, discuss, consider, and take action on budget amendment request by County Extension Rogelio Mercado to transfer $6,630 from line item 12,665,577.50 motor vehicles to 12,665,580.10 capital lease payment.
Judge, Commissioner's Court, I approve the request, I approve the request for the office.
All righty.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a
Second.
motion and a second, and that was Commissioner Gonzalez, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Second.
Oh,
All those in favor say aye.
aye.
And all those opposed? Motion passes. Discuss, consider, and take action on budget amendment request by County Judge Juan Rodriguez Jr. Transfer $10,000 from line item 12,510,575 equipment to line item 12,409,410 contract labor.
Motion to approve.
A second.
I have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? Motion passes. 7, discuss, consider, and take action to adopt a burn ban for Jim Wells County effective immediately. Texas Local Government Code 352-081. I guess that we're considering this because we had lifted it, but conditions have turned
Yeah. I'm
bad.
really we lift it immediately, Judge.
Or
Juan is there, do you want to talk?
I second the motion.
Acuña there, okay. I didn't know whether he was here or not. Go ahead,
He's muted.
that's fine.
Robert.
There we go. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. So we have gone up back on our KBDI, which is above 500, which is when the Texas Forest Service officially recognizes drought within the county. We had dropped below that with some rainfall a couple of weeks ago that part of the county received, but of course it's been dry, so that's pushed back up as expected. The U.S. Drought Monitor continues to show much of the county abnormally dry with no drought across most of the county, with the exception of Orange Grove and out towards Alice and northern parts of 281. But I imagine that's still going to be extending and expanding over the next several days and weeks as well. We have a small chance of rain early next week, but I don't think it'll be drought busting. So it's a good recommendation to put the burn ban back in place and so we can protect lives and property.
Okay, thank you, Juan, for the recommendation and looking out for it. So appreciate that. We did have a few fires, by the way,
Yeah.
you know, that spurred, and they were controlled burns, so it just tells you how dry it is out there.
Motion to, for the burn ban immediately to be
Okay.
lifted.
I have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Burn ban is in effect. Agenda item number 8. Thank you, Juan. Number 8, discuss,
Thank you,
consider
Judge.
approving resolution committing Chippewa County to a local government match of $43,440 for TxDOT County Road 440 at San Andreas Creek Bridge Project. That's on
This
County
is-
Road 440
this
San
is,
Andreas.
Precinct 4, I think. I was looking at I think a lot of it can be done by in-kind, Judge.
Okay.
It doesn't state that, but I think,
That it might be possible that the in-kind, like you said,
Yeah,
Without-
that's how we do most of ours with in-kind.
we are responsible for 43,000, but a lot of it's gonna be in-kind.
okay,
But you have to, at the very beginning, you have to let them know that you want to do in-kind.
Thank you, Margie.
I'm reading here, trying to see if it mentions participation waived, projects such participation requiring local government proposed to be waived and return, perform or cost to be performed equivalent match project structural improvement work. I'm sure it'll qualify for that. Okay, guys, well,
I'll make a motion for approval, Judge.
okay, you have a motion.
I'll
on the-
second the motion.
And the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing the county judge to, in partnership with the city, request $50,000 in state 2023 ramp grant funds from the Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, Office of Aviation for routine maintenance projects and other lower cost airport improvements, committing to the required 25,000 match and authorizing the county judge and county attorney to sign grant agreement contract documents.
Morning,
Good morning, Ms.
Judge and
Barbara.
Commissioners. How are
Good-
y'all?
Morning.
And county staff. For the rest of the audience, I'm Barbara Reeves, grant writer for the city. And we've worked many, many years with the county on our jointly owned and operated airport. And every year we come and report to you how we've used ramp grant funds, which are state grant funds for general aviation airports. This year, we have a total fund of, we did, of $150,000 in ramp grant funds. And then the local match of $50,000, which is always divided evenly between the county and the city. This year, we've used the ramp grant for replacing PAPI lights, windsocks, for apron expansion for one of our hangars. And depending upon when we get the invoice for the RFQ for the hangar project, we can pay for that, that invoice for the RFQ with ramp grant funds. This ramp grant that we currently have expires August 31st. What we have on the agenda for you today is asking for your authorization to request another $50,000 for 2023, which would require the county to match $25,000 and the city to match $25,000. The city does have its $25,000 budgeted in its 2023. So that's what we're asking you today, is to consider authorizing us to request another $50,000.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
All those
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes. Barbara, thank you
Thank you.
for keeping
Thank
up with all them grants and.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll make sure that we budget that.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I think it's something we do every year. no?
Every year.
We just don't want to forget about it, right, when we do the budget. Thank you, Barbara. Let's see, we got one more right
One
here.
more.
And discuss report on airport hangar project presented at the March 14th, 2022 meeting.
The hangar project we discussed with you back in March and it's moving along. The city did hire ICE Engineering to develop the request for qualifications for a design build for Quonset hangar. And I believe in your packet you have a picture of what a Quonset hangar would look like. This picture is larger than the one we're proposing. We're proposing to have one constructed that would house 3 to 4 small planes. We did go ahead and we've continued to work with TxDOT Office of Aviation on this project, even though we all are doing local procurement. TxDOT's not doing the procurement. TxDOT did issue a grant agreement to the city and the county for the $300,000 in non-primary entitlement funds that we have banked with TxDOT. And so we do have that signed grant agreement for those $300,000 for this project. And then the local match for that grant is $33,000, which we divide evenly between the city and the county. So we've got the grant agreement, and ICE Engineering is working on the request for qualifications, which they said they'd have ready by the end of this month. Once they have that RFQ ready, we'll submit it to the Office of Aviation. So Office of Aviation can make sure we've got all the required provisions in it. Then we'll publicize it and distribute it and see how many responses we get. And then we'll come back to you. And if you would like to be on the evaluation committee, that'd be great. We'd love to have you on the evaluation committee once we get those responses. And then we'll proceed from there. Of the $300,000 we have in grant funds, 150 is from 2019 and 150,000 is from 2020 from the federal government. We have to expend the 2019 by March of next year. So once the RFQ is approved by TxDOT, hopefully we'll be moving fast on this to get it awarded.
Very good, Barbara. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Will this hangar be used like for rental, or
I'm sorry, I
it's
didn't.
gonna be used for somebody that wants to rent it? or-
Yes, the hangar, it'll be like renting a T hangar.
Okay,
But because of the cost of designing and constructing T hangars, this was the alternate that we could afford to pursue right now. And yes, we'd be renting the space to aircraft owners.
We'll be creating some revenue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good,
Yes,
good.
sir.
Barbara, you
Yes.
said that ICE was the engineer?
They're developing the request for qualifications for the design build that will be publicized, and they won't be able to bid on that. They won't be able to, they function as our city engineer. We have an agreement with them, and they look at plats, and they work on other projects for the city. So they're working to develop this RFQ,
Oh, okay.
and they've given us a fee of it's a little over $17,000 to develop this RFQ. So again, we'll be looking to pay that invoice through the RAMP grant.
I think it's a presentation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. We appreciate your continued support of the airport, and
Thank you for the great job, Barbara.
you're quite welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
11, presentation by Jana Shu, Outreach and Disaster Coordinator, Coastal Bend, 211 Texas United Way, regarding 211 Texas role during disasters, steer training. Hello, good morning. Yes, you may. Welcome. How are you this morning?
Hi, good morning. I'm well, thank you.
Very wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you to Commissioner Margie Gonzalez. We go way back in disaster work from floods in 2015, I believe, that affected Alice and Jim Wells County. And so we served together on the long-term recovery coastal bend disaster recovery group. So today I'm here to talk about 211 Texas United Way Helpline, which is a state helpline in Texas, and also our role each day of what services and information we provide to callers, as well as our role during disaster, and to talk about the STEER registry for those who may want to register in the event of a disaster or a local event in the area. So I cover the 12 counties of the Coastal Bend, as you see, providing outreach and education. Next slide. 211 is actually a designated dialing code by the Federal Communications Commission. It is designated for health and human service information. Hopefully it's one call if you don't know where to start looking for community resource information. It's available 24 hours a day, and we do have our website, and we have chat available on our website in English and Spanish 24 hours a day. We also use a language interpreter line, accessing up to 150 languages. So a little bit about our helpline. My employer is United Way of Greater Houston. That's where the call center is, where the staff, well, actually they've been remote since 2020, but we have a hybrid of some staff in the call center and some still answering calls from home. But over 1.1 million people were connected with help last year through our helpline in Houston. It's the largest in the nation. And we also have a Mission United team, which coordinates follow-ups for active duty veterans, service member families, or military personnel, make sure they're connected with the resources they need. And then we facilitate registering in, we call it STEER, State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry. And we also, as I said, are operating 24 hours a day. So who answers the phone? Our staff, next slide, are highly degreed, skilled, certified information referral professionals. We have national accreditation standards. All 25 centers in Texas are nationally accredited, and our staff are certified after eligibility of answering calls for a year, depending upon education level. So in Houston, we have staff that answer and speak Spanish, Vietnamese, Urdu, and Mandarin. And then if there's another language, we access the language line. But the most important thing about our helpline specialists is that they're caring people who connect our help seekers to help and hope. Next slide. So I mentioned 211 is nationwide. It's also in Canada. It's about a 96% coverage rate, as you can see on the left. And if you're ever looking for human information referral resources outside of Texas, there's a website you can search. In the right side is our 12 county coastal bend region. So 2021, we had over 47,000 connections from callers, help seekers in those 12 counties. Of those 959 were military connections. We are required to ask every call if someone is active duty, what branch, if they're a veteran, what branch or civilian from state legislation that was written many years ago. So active duty or veterans have access to resources in the community that has nothing to do with their chain of command. And then of those total 47,000 connections, 9,455 were for COVID-19. Next slide. So that's the contractor map. We are contracted under Texas Health and Human Service Commission. We receive close to about $2 million as a network from general revenue under the Texas legislature. We just completed RFP, so our new fiscal year began September 1 of last year for 3 years of continued funding. We all cover geographical regions, most likely aligned with the COG type of county coverage. So when you dial 211, you hear welcome to 211 Texas, an IVR menu trying to help guide you which option you may need. And then your language option, 1 for English, 2 for Spanish, 3 for TTY or video relay for those who are deaf or hard of hearing, and then 0 for other languages, and that's how we access the language line. Then you have a service selection. So we are option 1, information referral. We'll have our 20th anniversary in October of answering our first 211 call. Option 2 is any kind of state benefit, Medicaid, TANF, SNAP, WIC, Children's Health Insurance Program, etc. Option 3 is Inspector General. If someone wants to notify of an individual or a provider that may be abusing a state benefit. And then option 4 is STEER, that is the State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry. And option 8 is mental health substance abuse. Again, we were written into legislation to be an access point, and we already have those resources in our database. We still have option 6, which is for COVID-19 information, which activated March 3rd of 2020. So how can 211 help you and the community? Well, we have information in a comprehensive database on various needs. So basic needs, which is about 85% of our calls, people who need help with food, rent, utility bills, prescription assistance, transportation to a medical appointment is the majority of our calls, or help for a senior parent or someone that has a disability. Maybe there's a landlord-tenant issue, different legal services, healthcare, mental health, veteran services, and of course, during times of disaster, we are the go-to place to get information. And so I'm going to show you some of our data for the 12 counties, and then I pulled data for Jim Wells. Next slide. So for Coastal Bend last year, as I said, we had 47,000 contacts. So that's by calling primarily, or using the website, or using chat. So you can see on the left our top agency referrals. One of our top ones besides the one in Nueces County is always KCOST. For the 7 or 8 counties they provide service, including Jim Wells. So over, I think it's 59,000 referrals were given to those agencies when someone called needing help. To the right is what the needs were with individuals were asking for help. And I think there was over 44,000 because they can have multiple needs when they call. So you can see always in our top 5, it's usually state benefits, we transfer to option 2. Utility assistance, there was over almost 5,000 requests for that. Medical care, rent, mortgage, food, etc. Next slide. So this is for Jim Wells County. I pulled the data from for last year. So there was close to 3,800 calls or contacts for Jim Wells. There's a scattergram that shows you predominantly where the calls come. And of course, to the right, the calls by month, how they tend to go up and down based on season or cyclical need of what the callers are looking for. And then the top, I think 4 or 5 zip codes, you can see the first one, 78332, had about 2,800 calls just from that zip code. And then it breaks down to 7275, 383, 333, and 342, if I can, should put my glasses on. So that gives you an idea. So next slide. So of those 3,000, close to 3,800, again, the top referrals we gave to those callers from Jim Wells County are on the left, and the needs on the right, which are always consistent just in general with top 10 needs. Next slide. So from those 3,700, 687 contacts were for COVID-19. You can see our demographic background. The highest number was the 36 to 49-year-old category, which is typical, people calling from that age group needing assistance. The languages spoke, military, the zip codes, and again, the referrals or the top 25 needs. So we still continue to receive COVID-19 related calls, and people still need help with basic needs related to that. Next slide. So we are in a multi-disaster response. And during times of disaster, we register individuals into STEER. We actually do that all year. We encourage people to register now. Do not wait until there's a storm in the Gulf, because there may be a certain amount of time that the data is not available to the local emergency manager. We get a lot of calls for evacuation routes, especially the wildfires that have happened across the state when they're asked to evacuate. If there is a declaration by the mayor or the judge, for the city or the county, shelter information, if they're evacuating the area, if there's local, state, or federal assistance, and then a lot of reassurance and rumor control, and then we have resources for long-term recovery. Next slide. So just to give you an idea, since March 13th, we went to statewide routing for COVID. Just in Coastal Bend, we've had 25,000 calls related to COVID-19. And we had 5 or 6 storm responses last year. Next slide. So now I'm going to transition into talking about STEER. That is the Texas Division of Emergency Management's database. They created it many years ago. And the process is you can call and register. Next slide. It's a free registry for any Texan that might need access or may have access or functional needs and may need assistance during an emergency event. Or they may need transportation. While it gets the most attention for hurricane season, communities use the information for various events in their community. So registering in STEER does not guarantee a specific service. We tell the caller they do need to follow up their local emergency manager for their city or community and find out what their plans are. And that information just helps with planning for the emergency manager. Next slide. So what is STEER? As I said, it's a way to register information. It's about a 6-page form. It asks a lot of questions about medical access needs, pets, transportation, if needed, community access, if they have a provider or home health agency, if they see a doctor, if they're on IV therapy at home or oxygen, etc. And they have to re-register every January. The data is held by the state for a year and 1 month, and then they archive it. Next slide. So who should register? Well, anyone who has disabilities, maybe someone who's medically fragile or may not have a caregiver at home or someone that could help them in a disaster, and especially if they need to evacuate for a hurricane or if they're a mandatory evacuation for an area due to like a wildfire or something happening. They have communication barriers, need personal assistance, or require transportation. Next slide. So here are links, and I share the presentation. You all have, this is the state's website where you can access the forms. Nursing homes and assisted livings are required under law. Any less licensed facility under HHSC, they have to fill out the one-page facility form, which has their census bed count, and they have to send that in beginning of hurricane season. So y'all have quite, some nursing homes and other units here in your county that would have been doing that. The easiest way is call 211, press your language, press option 4. It's about a 15 to 20 minute call because of the information we have to ask and put in the database. Next slide. It is no longer confidential. There was legislation this last session in case any first responders or state agencies have to assist during a disaster, so it's not confidential, meaning only to that local emergency manager or first responder has it. Next slide. So what's required? The minimum is we need a language, English, Spanish, other, or American Sign Language, a name, an address. We cannot register a PO box because it is GIS coded. So it has to have an address and a phone number. So some jurisdictions don't participate, but Alice and Jim Will counties do. If someone's registering outside the area and they don't participate, they'll get this message. Next slide. And then here again are some examples of the questions asked. Next slide. And just that within 12 hours prior of a landfall of a tropical storm, it's discouraged to register. So register now while there's not a storm in the Gulf. Next slide. So the data custodians are assigned the information. So it's Mr. Acuna for the county and Chief Patrick Thomas for City of Alice. Everyone who's registered gets a postcard reminder here in December that they need to re-register. And then what happens with the STEER data? Well, it's based on that data custodian that's assigned by the elected official and how they use that information to ask for more resources or planning or to address gaps in service during a preparation or an event. And so again, it's not a guarantee of a specific service, and they should call their local government if they have questions about how emergency management is handled at their city or county. You can go past that. I covered all that. It's just some FAQs. Next slide. Here's our website. We are required under our contract, all 25 of us, to upload our database each month. So you can search for services online. I do offer virtual, or I can do in-person trainings on how to search the website, how to find information, showing chat and more information about 211 Texas in general, and information about your Texas benefits. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Are there any questions I can answer?
Well done. Thank you. No.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Jana.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Have a great day. Agenda item number 12, discuss, consider, take action on request by Commissioner Precinct 3, Renee Kirchhoff Chop. Request for authorization on solicitation of bids for chip seal coating project on County Roads 369, 372, and House Avenue.
We've already sent out all the paperwork to Alice Echo, to Robert, get everything posted. Hopefully we'll get more than one bid this time and reasonable.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? Motion passes. 13, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the June 14, 2022 CD 34 special election canvas.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Okay, so this is just pretty simple. It was one race, 4 candidates for the special election at Texas Congressional District 34 that will carry us throughout this year. You'll see on there total ballots cast were 1,288. And of those ballots cast, we had 1,270 votes plus 1 undervote plus 17 overvotes, brings us to the total ballots cast. So that should complete our canvas, knowing that the total ballots cast equal the total number of votes.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor say aye,
Aye.
and all those opposed. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, sir.
14, discuss, consider, and take action on approval of fund request by Alice Boys and Girls Club and West Side Youth Center to be taken from Fund 50 at amount approved by Commissioners Court.
It's something we do every year, Judge, and there's like, I think there's 67,000 in the fund, and, yeah, we have to reserve 25. I think, I make a motion that we fund 20,000 to each one.
What did they ask for, 3,000?
Yeah.
I second.
I have a, no,
So that'll.
That'll be
leave
a
us,
combined total of-
27,000, I think, you know.
okay, so I have a motion on the floor and a second, and that's 20,000 to each entity. All those in favor say aye,
Aye.
and all those opposed?
Actually, I'm pretty sure that y'all are very busy right now.
Motion passes.
All I wanna say, Judge, is that your office will go ahead and do the appeals, send them to us, if not today, on Monday we'll process.
Got it, thank you. You got it, we'll get that out. Okay. Agenda 15, discuss, consider, and take action on setting Commissioner Court meeting date to discuss budget plan for expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act funds and related matters.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning,
Go ahead.
Commissioners. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning.
This agenda item is a follow-up to the ARPA workshop that we had last month. And now we're ready to review all the department's needs and the community participation needs that were discussed at the ARPA workshop. This will be a budget setting meeting only so that we can allocate and make a definitive decision on how the ARPA funds will be used. So the dates that are available in checking with the County Court at Law office, we have July 6th. I'm going to try to share a screen. I'm not sure. Can you all see the calendar?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We have July 6th, which is a Wednesday. We have Monday, July 25th, which is basically your last month of July. We have Monday, the 25th, Tuesday, the 26th, and Friday, the 29th. So I need some guidance and direction on what date and time. These dates are available for the budget meeting, half day or all day.
Well, July 6th, I don't know if people will be out due to the holiday.
Mhm. Yeah, that's just right around the corner, actually. So we're looking at the last week of the month.
Which is July 25th?
25th, 26th, and 29th. The 25th is a Monday. We do not have Commissioners Court. The 26th is a Tuesday. And the 29th is a Friday.
The 25th is good for me. I don't know about for y'all. What do y'all think?
That's a Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds doable on the 25th.
At 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
I'm okay with it.
Sounds good, 10 a.m. it is on the 25th. We'll keep that.
So it is an action item.
Okay.
I make a motion that we set the meeting for the ARPA Rescue Plan funds on July 25th at 10 a.m.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes for July 25th at 10 a.m. All right, Ms. Moran, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
16, discuss, consider, and take action on authorizing Jim Wells County to solicit statement of qualifications for professional consulting firms with expertise for related engineering, architectural, and surveying services. These services are being solicited to assist the County of Jim Wells in its American Rescue Plan Act projects.
Yes, Judge and Commissioners, again, this is an agenda item as a follow-up from last month where I brought to the court's attention that we would like to consider going out for an RFQ to hire an engineer for general services with the listed requirements so that we would have them on board when we start doing these projects using ARPA funds. And also this would be paid out of the ARPA funds as well, the engineer.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor.
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, Ms. Moran, thank you.
Sir.
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. 17, discuss, consider, and take action to approve county treasurer's report and other monthly reports.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 And all those opposed? Motion passes. 18, discuss, consider, take action to approve county auditors' reports.
The first report that I'm gonna go over is the auditor's monthly report. On our revenues, general fund, we budgeted 17,648,386. Actually, we have collected at this point through May 31st, 14,444,47.20, or at 82%. With all the revenues taken into account through May 31st, the total revenues that were expected was 4,817,325.20, and we have collected actual 20,574,083.71, or 83% of our projected revenues. Next, we have all of the different departments and their expenditure percentages. None of them should be over 42. If you're 42, just go ahead, talk to us and let us know, or we'll discuss as to why you're over. As you can see in the expenditures, which are 26,320,156.88 actual, we spent 10,570,341.40, or 39%. Which, like I say, at this time, we should be over 42, so we're 3% to the positive. That's your auditor's report. On the sales tax report, in Wells County for May 2022, our net payment was $281,520.89. At this time last year, we collected $270,094.94, for a difference of $11,425.95, or 4.23 positive percentage. For the year, at this time, we have collected $1,281,955.11. At this time last year, we had collected $1,055,235.56, or a difference of $226,719.55, with a positive change of 21.49. I just want to comment that every month this year, we have done better than last year. So as the report said, we're like 226,000 more than last year. So it's very positive.
Thank you, Noe.
Thank you, Noe.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those-
Aye.
Motion passes. 19, discuss, consider, and take action on payroll and bills as submitted by county auditor with the exemption of Fund 52, 53, and 54.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Noe. Any other
Before,
discussion?
yes, before we adjourn, we need to have a special court meeting next week to award the bids for administration and engineering that we just had for the Colonia and the drainage grants. They were not able to get on today, but they can't wait till next month because the application is due by the middle of next month. Are y'all available one day next week?
We can check with the office and we'll coordinate that through our office through Linda.
Thank you,
Okay.
Margie.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Margie.
Uh-huh.
So do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it.